Hi, then welcome to the Cult of Cinema for another episode of You Can Keep Only 10. Each time that I do this, especially when it's a label that I have less of or that I don't have a box set of, I try to do something different and unique. I try to think outside the box or the box set per se. In the last one that I did Vestron Video versus MVD Rewind. Basically, I did a 5 and 5, and the outcome of that had a determination on what happened in my Patreon video, which was and my member video, which was it was really unique and a lot of fun. Now, I do plan to do more like that with the versus aspect of it but for this one right here, for this specific one, which by the way is Twilight Time. Today we're doing Twilight Time, the sad late gone labeled Twilight Time. I don't have, and I don't know if there is a Twilight Time, if there was a Twilight Time box set. I don't know. But I do know that another, now unfortunately defunct label, Olive Films, is the one that I had some. And I initially thought, can I do a versus with this? And I knew it would be unfair. I knew that if I did a versus with Twilight Time and Olive Films, well, Twilight Time was going to be the winner, would come off way more predetermined, and I really think we'll lose a bit of its authenticity doing it like that. And I had a little bit lesser when it came to Olive than I did with Twilight Time. Had enough to do the verses, but not in the amount that I would feel it would have been fair to do it. So I am doing 9 Blu-rays and a box set of sorts. I'm doing 9 Twilight Time Blu-rays, and I challenged myself to go through my Olive releases that I had, come up with a box set out of those Olive releases that go together, that have a basic, kind of concept behind them, and do that. So you get 9 Twilight Time releases and 1 customized Cult of Cinema Olive Films box set tonight, right here in the Cult of Cinema. So this was really hard. I know I say that a lot, but it was truly hard, but it was also really, really fun to do as well. I hope you like this concept because I'm trying to keep this different and interesting and unique, so both you don't know what's coming next, and I challenge myself to do something even more outside the box than I would have done on the last video. So who knows where to go from here. Maybe I'll go back to a versus one, or maybe I'll do another one like this. With that being said, let's start off with the Twilight 9. I think that the deeper we get into these videos, and the more unique the label is, the more you learn about me as a film watcher and as a cinephile, as a fan of cinema, because we really get deep cuts into the type of stuff that I like and the type of stuff that I watch and rewatch. Twilight Time is a really great example of that, and I can probably assure you that 9 chances out of 10, this will be one of the least watched videos that I do on this entire series, with some of the most interesting titles. Let's start it with kind of a really fun one. It's a unique, quirky one that I enjoy a lot, and I don't think it's gotten enough talk or enough credit over the years. If you've seen it, definitely let me know. I would be interested in your thoughts of the film. But this is one called Strange Invaders. It is a different science fiction film, and it is a bit, I guess, on the a bit on the lighter side of it's not like not the super like this isn't like Fire and Sky type of thing, but it has a fantastic cast. Got Michael Lerner, Louise Fletcher's in this one, right? And Fiona Lewis, June Lockhart. A wonderful film, great cast, and what I love about these here Twilight Time releases is they all come with like this. Usually come with this interior artwork as well, and this booklet. And the booklet is most of these are written by the same person, and they're so well done. It's so well written, and gives you this like incredible look into this film. And I think where you get like a narrative voice like written, kind of going through all these different films, it really gives a unique perspective on it. We also get the isolated score, which of course was one of Twilight Time's big things that they did, because the guy behind Twilight Time was started basically in music acquisition, and he was really big when it came to when it came to music. We got the audio commentary with the director and the writer here as well. Original theatrical trailer, so not a ton of stuff, but just a really, really good, solid film that you can sit back on like on an evening and just put it on and just enjoy yourself and watch it. It's kind of a nice light watch. Unlike the next one I'm about to show you. Short Night of Glass Dolls is one that I watch with my better half. We both do adore the whole genre of the giallo. And this is a bit more of a serious one. Not only that, but it is tense, man. And I remember rewatching this with my better half, and I had forgotten pretty much. Like, I'd forgotten the ending. I knew I'd forgotten the ending, so I wasn't quite sure what was going to go. I remember certain sequences in the film, but for the life of me, I couldn't remember the end of it. And I was white-knuckled, like, as it's getting closer and closer, like, okay, no, something's going to happen, or something different's going to happen. Like, there's going to be a different outcome than I think is going to happen. And my better half looked at me and said, "Oh, you know where this is going, right?" I'm like, "No, it's not going there." This is such a good release. It does, again, of course, have the isolated soundtrack there, music track. We've got audio commentary with Dave Duvall and Matteo Molinari. Dave Duvall was used a lot for these commentaries. Does great stuff on there. As always, you got a really interesting, kind of cool booklet with unique artwork on there. Original poster on the other side. And if you know, you know. It's a pretty big sequence in the film. Such a great film, too. Well cast. You got Barbara Bach in this one here. Lead role is, God, what's his name again? We got Ingrid Thulin, we got Jean Sorrell. It's a fantastic film. You could kind of double feature it with The Vanishing. Yeah, I never really thought of it before until just now, but there's aspects of Short Night of Glass Dolls that I think would really work as a double feature with the movie The Vanishing, whether you want to watch the original or the remake. I'd go with the original myself, but good double feature idea. Next up is something completely different because we're going into neo-noir territory, and it's a really, really good one. It is Romeo is Bleeding. If you've never seen this one with Gary Oldman, it is a fantastic film. We got Gary Oldman in this one. We have, of course, Roy Schreider, Juliette Lewis, Annabella Sciorri, Lena Olin. Done by Peter Medic, of course, the guy did Changeling, and it is an absolutely fantastic film. It's stylistically gorgeous. It's just a wonderful neo-noir, and I definitely recommend this one. Mark Isham does the score, and it's got a wonderful score as well. Again, we get like the isolated score on this one, which is pretty much the only feature aside from a trailer. Really, it's all you need because it is that good, and it is that fantastic. I'll try and get this open up here to show you guys the. Was there anybody like in modern times that was more suited for like a noir than Lena Olin. I really don't think there is. She just encapsulates what the neo noir femme fatale is. She's just so good at it. And if you've never seen this one, just check it out. Go in as blind as possible. I do try to, and I've gotten asked this before. Why don't you like get more into the description of the films? Sometimes as I'm doing these lists, why don't you just talk a bit more about what exactly the film's about? I try to do this in a way that you can go in as blind as possible and enjoy discovering the film yourself, while still giving you the title and the basic concept of the film without giving anything really away to you. So I hope you guys appreciate that, because sometimes, and if you see me like chatting online or doing a live video, I can talk. I can really talk. So that takes time to do. Next up is another really fun one, and it's by Michael Winner, and stars, of course, Charles Bronson in The Mechanic. I like this one a lot. Gemma Vincent, young Gemma Vincent in this one, as is Keenan Wynn, and of course Jill Ireland. But great title. This one here, of course, has the isolated track, and we got the auto commentary with the cinematographer Richard H. Klein, and with the late Nick Redman, who of course was the guy behind Twilight Time, and was, I think, his wife that wrote these here booklets. I love the look of these. This here. I'm not a massive fan of the kind of the faux Bronson like thing that's going on right now with the like the actor that looks a lot like Charles Bronson in like movies that are fairly atrocious, to be honest with you. Maybe there's some good ones out there, but I haven't seen them yet. Just because it's Bronson, man. I grew up with Bronson. Not like literally. We didn't live on the same street. I'm not that old. Even though I look it. But no, I grew up watching Bronson. We're into a pretty safe territory for me. It is the wonderful start of kind of modern day vampire films with Count Yorga Vampire. I really do enjoy this one here. I think I enjoy the sequel just a bit more. And I have that one from Scream Factory. Here's what happens when you start making these videos at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And we got on this one, we got some stuff on this here. Got the isolated score, of course, audio commentary with Dave Duvall and Tim Sullivan. We get My Dinner with Yorga, the Robert Corey Rue Morgue interview. That's actually kind of cool. Read by David Duvall and Tim Sullivan. Fangirl Radio tribute to Robert Corey with Tim Sullivan. Stills Gallery, the MGM Archives. Still Gallery, the Tim Sullivan Archives, and original theatrical trailer. So, you know, it's a really cool film, and it kind of changed what was going on at the time, because at this time period, Hammer Horror was doing the vampire films that were like pretty much gothic, like set pieces for each of the vampire films. Now, Count Yorga was extremely popular, and it helped inspire Hammer to go on and do 2 Dracula films set in modern day. Not quite sure if that was a good thing, but it happened anyway, and I do love the artwork on this here. So the original different poster for Count Yorga. There was 2 films. There was a third kind of unofficial Count Yorga film called Deathmaster, and which is kind of like sort of mentioned in that poster right there. We're diving back into action territory right now, and not just any action territory though. It is an action film by a guy that directed a really good horror sequel, one of my favorite horror franchises. It's Dwight Little's Rapid Fire. Yes, the guy that directed Halloween 4, directed Brandon Lee and Parge Booth in Rapid Fire. And this is a film like, even before The Crow, when you watch Rapid Fire, you know, yeah, this Brandon Lee guy, he's got it. He can be a star. It's just a wonderful film. I absolutely adore this one. You get the score, you get the commentary with Christopher Young and Nick Redman here. There's a featurette introducing Brandon Lee. Just a really, really good release. And a fun film, like a really fun film. I really enjoyed this film. Got it right here. And of course there's the Rapid Fire booklet. Just truly I'm noticing, and hope maybe you are too, just how wonderful these releases look. And although they're not like loaded up with special features, you don't have a hard box, there's no slipcover. Twilight Time just has that prestige look about it. It looks like something special. It looks like something on your shelf that deserves attention. And it's just the unique art styling that they did, the attention to detail, the going all in when it came to doing the, isolating the score. Just, it's these little things that add up to just an amazingly great label. It's the things that sometimes we forget, and I'm glad that we didn't here, because I really wish I had more Twilight Time in my collection, because they're incredible, and I love their stuff. Looks like so premium, so prestige. One of the quickest selling out Twilight Time releases is the next one I'm going to show you, and this is a horror one. Actually, not just any horror. It's one of my all-time favorite horrors, and one of my favorite vampire films of all time, because we're looking at Fright Night. For real. It's the 30th anniversary edition of Fright Night. It is absolutely fantastic. I have the Sony edition as well, but I would never, ever get rid of this Twilight Time edition. It is so, so good. It has the audio commentary, the isolated score. It has a second audio commentary. Plus, it has the Fright Night reunion panel from Fear Fest 2 back in 2008. It has Tom Holland, Chris Sarandon, William Ragsdale, Stephen Jeffries, Amanda Barris, Jonathan Stark. It's moderated by Rob Cluzo. I know that name, don't I? Yeah, I think he worked on one of those podcast things. Shock to Your Drop presents Choice Cuts with Tom Holland and Ryan Turek. I know Ryan Turek is, because Ryan Turek did the works with Blumhouse now. Vintage EPK kit. This is really cool, because this has can be really hard to find. You can find more online now, but for the longest time, it was really hard to find. It's the Fright Night music video from the Jay Giles Band. And I remember listening to that a lot when I was younger. I used to have it taped off on a VHS tape. Still is a memorabilia gallery from the Tom Holland archives, an original theatrical trailer. So a ton of great stuff on here. Such a good one. This was oddly the only one that I got that doesn't have an interior artwork. You would think 30th anniversary one would have, and there's so many different things you could use. I love the way that it's done for the booklet. Again, just so incredibly well done. And the name that's writing on these booklets is Julie Kurgel, by the way. We got two more here. Next up is my other Bronson release, and it is a good one. It is 10 to Midnight. I love this. This may be my favorite Bronson film of all time. Yeah, and I mean, over the Death Wish and everything. It is just so good. It's wonderfully well done. It is... People think the character he's playing is kind of like the character from Death Wish, but it's kind of the antithesis of the character from Death Wish. Whereas he's a cop in this one, and he's really reluctant, really does not want to go into vigilante justice. Whereas the Paul Kersey character is the exact opposite of that. But it is so good. Andrew Stevens is in this. Gene Davis is really, really good in this. Jeffrey Lewis, of course. And Lisa Albacher. I hope I got her name pronounced that right. Once again, the isolated scores and audio commentary on this one here as well. Radio Spots, original theatrical trailer. Does this one have artwork too? I think it does. Yes, it does. You can't see it very well there, but it's a penultimate scene in the film. It's just such a good release. I know Scream Factory put a release. I had a bunch more kind of features on it. I know because I bought it for my dad for Christmas one year. But look at this gorgeous release. Yeah, there is something really prestige looking about these here. And last but not least is a film that's always been a favorite of mine. I just really love this movie. I like the actors. I think that it's really enjoyable, and it's gorgeous. And it is directed by Randall Kleiser, who directed Grease. But this is not that. Um, they say it's follow up to the Blue Lagoon. I don't really see it that way, but we got Peter Gallagher, Daryl Hannah, and Valeria Quinenson. I probably pronounced it wrong. And it is Summer Lovers. It is a really, really good film. It's a gorgeous film. With three, you know, fantastic leads. At the height of of their youth, and just it's wonderful. And the kind of like the idea behind the film, like this couple that gets together with this other girl, and they have kind of this big, sort of like menage a trois type of romance, and there's the travelogue aspect of it, and the setting is just stunning. Um, it's a slice of time in youth that can often only happen at a specific time, and once it happens, it won't again. Does that make any sense? Maybe, maybe not. Just trust me, watch yourself. It's really, really good. We get the isolated score and effects track on here. We get an audio commentary with the writer and director. Got the making of on here as well. And Basil Polidorus, his life and music, screen tests, original theatrical trailer. Just such great releases. And just to give you an idea of what how good these here look alongside one another. I love the look of a nice Twilight time release. And here we got should be 9 of these, right? 9, yeah. Want to make sure I didn't cheat. So I need the box set. I need an Olive box set. How was I going to do that? I looked at my Olive stuff, and I tried to find some titles that could kind of go together. So without further ado, this is my take on the Olive box set. All right, here's my take on a box set from Olive Films. It's a comedy classic set done with 4 different decades, with 4 unique takes on some very, very different comedies and very different styles of comedy. We start off with, from the 1940s, it is So This Is New York. It is I think the first film by humorist Henry Morgan, was probably more famous for his radio work and some of his TV work as well. But this was his first actual film, and there's a lot to really like about this. I think this is a really fun film that's kind of flew under the radar, and I wanted to have some nice ones in the box set that I could think of as true discoveries. And I think So This Is New York is one that more people should discover. We go from the 1940s to the 1960s, 1961 to be precise. And I think we got a good one here as well, because we have Danny Kaye and Dana Winter in On the Double. I love me some Danny Kaye. I grew up watching him and his films, and just I love the way that he can mix physicality with the way that he could do this kind of amazingly tongue twistery type of dialogue that only works with kind of with Danny Kaye and maybe Stephen Fry. It's just so well done. And this is a fun one. If you've never seen it, it's it's a World War II comedy, and there's a decent cast in here as well. We got Wilfred Hud White is in this one too. Margaret Rutherford, for a lot of people know her. She was a comedian, an actress. She did a lot of comedy. I guess the first really big screen Miss Marple, really popular one back in the day. And it's done by Melville Chavelson, who did The Five Pennies. So if you've never seen it, it's a really fun release. Just look at that there. How can you not want to watch that? I just love anything Danny Kaye does. Truly one of the greats. I had to pick something from Meyer, which is the 1980s. And by the time the 80s come around, we'd gotten from the kind of the humorous comedy, and we got into the kind of the really wacky Danny Kaye comedy, and we started to get more almost like the comedy dramedy type thing. This was the era of 30 something, and stuff like that, which kind of leaned more on drama. But then there was these ones that kind of leaned heavier on comedy with dramatic aspects to it. And I really thought this one would be the perfect representation of the 1980s and the shift in the way a lot of things were being done. And it is irreconcilable differences. It's an early role for, of course, the young Drew Barrymore here. We've got Shelley Long and Ryan O'Neal. Some people wouldn't take this so much as a comedy, but I do think that the comedic elements are there, and it does kind of fit, especially if we're looking at the era in the 80s as a kind of a representation of the 80s. And I really would have fought to put this one in. I went back and forth on whether I was going to put it in here. Young Sharon Stone, this one as well. But I really think it deserved it. And we get to more of like to the wackier side of things, and kind of the sillier like comedies of the 90s, when things would start to become more silly, and we would get more of we go overboard in the 2000s. But it is Robert Townsend in Meteor Man. I really do like this one. I'm a big comic book fan, and I'm a big Townsend fan too. I think he's fantastic. And Meteor Man is such a fun film. We got Marla Gibbs in this one here, Eddie Griffin's in it, Robert Goulet, James Earl Jones. Just an amazing cast of people. We got special appearances about Cypress Hill, Big Daddy Kane, Naughty by Nature, Sinbad. So truly a film in and of its time, and it's a great encapsulation of that 90s era of comedy and that shift as we're starting to see things kind of broaden, and we're getting a wider scope on the comedic side of things. So there you go. Let me know what you think. How did I do with my multi-decade comedy classics box set? I think all these here are like kind of classics for me. We got the kind of the hidden gem, which is the 1940s one. The Danny Kaye, we got a classic comedy one in here. We got the one representing kind of like the 80s era, as we got to like more serious comedy. We got to like the slightly like Rex Solid Differences. We got Albert Brooks stuff will be coming up. Some of the Allen stuff as well. And we go to Robert Townsend, who's just a genius writer and a wonderful performer. And he of course he wrote and directed Meteor Man as well. It's a passion project of his. So there you go. 9 Blu-rays, one box set that for the first time, one that I made myself. Twilight Time, Olive Films. Let me know what Twilight Time releases you would do. And if you want to, if you got some Olive Films, or maybe you got some Twilight Time films, you want to put together your own like special box set, I'd be really interested in seeing that being done. So let me know in the comment section down below. Choose your films, and if you want to get really challenging with it, make me your dream box set. But try and do it within the parameters of releases that you have in your collection. I am Aaron. Thanks for watching The Cult of Cinema and another Just the 10. Again, trying to make these more challenging, hopefully as more interesting as we go along, especially when I'm doing labels that some people are not as familiar with. I got to go make my alternate 5, and in the alternate 5 this time, we got a combination of Twilight Time and Olive Films. Yeah, there's some really unique titles here. So if you're a member or a patron, or you want to become one, remember you can join up for as little as a cup of coffee and come over, check out all the bonus videos that's been on all these Just the 10 releases, including the one coming up right now for the alternate 5 Twilight Time Olive Films combo. See you soon.
Oh God. Subscription sloth here. Just want to remind you that I know in the summertime especially it can be super warm and lazy. But if you're liking this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to go that step further and join the Patreon, there's a link for that down below. You can super sticker, super chat, or donate. But above all, just lie back and enjoy the video, because that's what I'm going to do.